when a bully gets exactly what he deserves. Backstory. I live in a town in the Netherlands with a university. A few years ago, my girlfriend's cousin was accepted as an overseas student. My girlfriend is Japanese, and her family, father, mother, her sister, and herself, moved to the Netherlands when she was younger. Her cousin still lived in Japan when she applied, was accepted, and is now living in a student room in the Netherlands. We do not really have dormitories here like in the United States, but the building she lives in is maintained by the university itself. Her cousin is doing quite well for herself, earning good grades, and is well on her way to obtaining her diploma. Partly because of this, the overseas family decided to have their vacation in the Netherlands this year, both for leisure and a bit of a family gathering. This story takes place during the family gathering. My girlfriend's parents, the cousin's parents, and another family had a meeting in a restaurant in my hometown. They had two little girls in tow, sisters, who looked about 8 or 9 years old to me, but my girlfriend later told me they are actually 11 and 12 years old, but appeared younger than their age, probably also because of their school uniforms. At least, that is what it looked like to me. I really don't know. Anyway, the idea was to catch up with the family, and my girlfriend was asked if she would be willing to keep the two young girls busy for a few hours, since she was the oldest of the group. My girlfriend and I are in our 40s, her cousin studying is around 25 years old, and as mentioned, the two girls are around 11 and 12 years old. My girlfriend did not mind, but asked me if I wanted to come along as well. Her cousin did not mind, the three of us had met a few times before already, and well, it was all about keeping the young girls busy anyway. For the record, the two young girls basically only speak Japanese. They do understand some English and can even speak a little, but it's mostly Japanese. My girlfriend's cousin speaks both Japanese and English, and has even learned quite a bit of the Dutch language as well. Seriously, for the few years she's been here, it is, in my opinion, quite impressive. My girlfriend speaks Japanese, English, and Dutch. And as for me, I speak Dutch, obviously, and English, but over the years I have also managed to pick up a decent amount of Japanese. I can often, not always, understand the general gist of things, as long as it is not spoken too quickly or too complicated. So basically, it was all English and Japanese between us. A bully appears. We took the girls for a walk through my hometown, and they were quite interested, but when we passed a playground, that quickly got their attention. So the three of us decided to sit on a bench and let the girls have some fun. There were several activities, like an air balloon castle, swings, and a sandbox for younger children to play in. Just plenty of things to do. The two girls wanted to go into the castle, which was fine with my girlfriend, as long as they made sure to only use the entrance and exit located on our side, so they would not get lost and we could keep track of them. The three of us talked quite a bit, but also kept an eye on the castle. About 15 minutes later, I spotted the two girls again by accident near the exit with a little girl between them. I have no idea, but I would say she was about 8 years old. I cannot really tell exactly what was going on, but I did see the little girl point to the area of the sandbox, and that is where the three of them headed next. Before I could say anything to my girlfriend, a young lady walked up to us and asked, in Dutch, if she had seen a little girl passing by. This seemed too coincidental to me, so I asked, "Is she wearing a pink dress by any chance?" The woman's face lit up as I told her that the little girl seemed to be with my girlfriend's younger cousins, and I pointed to the sandbox. But when we looked over, we now also saw an older boy near the girls. I am not good at guessing ages, let us just say he was bigger than them. And he was clearly harassing them. The small girl was visibly crying, but also being comforted by one of the two younger cousins, while the other was keeping the boy away from her. We all walked over to the sandbox, just as the boy managed to shove one of the cousins out of his way, and he was clearly trying to bully the young girl in the pink dress, but now stopped by the other cousin. That is when we arrived. The woman who was with us berated the boy and told him to stop picking on young children, but the little brat clearly was not very impressed. The incident. The next moment, his mother, I assume, stormed over, yelling, and she had every appearance of a Karen, or a talkie, as we tend to call them here. A little argument ensued, mainly between the mother of the girl in the pink dress and our Karen or talkie. It went back and forth, but it was apparent that, according to the boy's mother, the brat did nothing wrong by picking on a girl half his size, and this fine example of a mother even had the audacity to blame the other mother for raising such a weak little child. Basically, she said, "That is what you get when you raise silly little girls." And then the Karen said, "Children will be children, just let them sort out their own problems already." But she did take the boy with her as she walked away. The mother of the small girl wanted to stand up, but my girlfriend stopped her, telling her that she had nothing to worry about because her child was completely safe. "Just watch. Trust me on this." The mother was visibly uneasy but remained seated. That is when I noticed that the behavior and stance of the two cousins had completely changed. They seemed much more confident and relaxed. The boy started making a fuss while one of the cousins stood up, pointed at him, and yelled something at him, in Japanese obviously. He once again tried to shove her out of his way, but this time she was faster. She stepped aside, did something with her leg, and gave him a huge shove. The next moment, he was eating sand, literally. He got up, visibly angry, with his face covered in sand. This time he became violent and actually tried to hit one of the cousins with his fists. Yes, he tried. She evaded one attempt, then grabbed his hand, spun it around, and the next moment the boy found his arm twisted behind his back and he started screaming. The other cousin now also stood up, patted the young girl on her head, made another move, and once again the boy was shoved to the ground, this time by both cousins, hard. When he looked up, the other cousin actually made a moving gesture as if she wanted to kick him, but without actually moving her legs or anything. She was obviously just threatening him. My girlfriend poked me with a huge grin on her face and said, "Surely that deserves a point for self-restraint, do you not agree?" She was visibly loving every moment of this. Apparently, the boy was not completely foolish, and he ran off, while one cousin immediately turned to the young girl again, who was clearly still having a good time, not at all upset with the bully. "What in the world was that?" the mother asked. My girlfriend told the mother that her cousins were taking the same self-defense classes as she and her sister once did, and that she had decided to pull rank by telling her cousins that it was okay for them to actually defend themselves, as long as they did not overdo it, of course. The mother wanted to know more about these classes, but unfortunately for her, my girlfriend had to tell her that the actual school was located all the way out in a suburb of Tokyo, so it was not something her daughter would be able to attend. Mommy returns with a boa guard. We chatted some more for the next 10 minutes, after which the bully's mother stormed over to us with a boa in tow. Boa is Dutch for buitengewoon opsporingsambtenaar, which basically means a deputy, but without proper training or any weapons. Generally speaking, most of them usually handle ticketing people. He told us that he had received a complaint from the woman about people beating up her child, to which the mother of the young girl immediately snapped, "Whatever happened to letting the children sort out their own problems?" Now, the funny thing is, apparently the whole spectacle did not go unnoticed, and before we could say or do anything, someone else had stormed over as well. "I saw the whole thing, officer," an older woman said. "Her brat," pointing at the Karen/Toki, "was harassing and beating the child in the pink dress when those two awesome children stepped in and protected her." Meanwhile, another man had walked over. "Officer, that brat got everything he deserved. He started it. The only thing that happened was that those girls defended themselves from him." The officer listened to everyone's statements and ended up deciding to ticket the mother of the brat, I assume for disturbing the peace, but I do not know any details because at this time we decided to leave and we went our separate ways. Aftermath. During our walk back to the hotel and restaurant, the cousins told us the whole story. I actually learned something new as well. While they were in the castle, they saw the boy harassing the young girl in the pink dress and immediately decided that this was not right, especially because he was almost twice her size. He actually pulled on her hair while she was already crying, which made the cousins outright angry. But the only thing they did was get the boy away from the girl. One cousin distracted the boy by blocking him from grabbing the girl's hair again and also started taunting him, while the other comforted the young girl and led her to the exit, the one we agreed on. So the girl's mother never saw her leave and got worried. The other cousin managed to lose the boy in the crowd, at first anyway, and joined her sister near the exit. So I asked my girlfriend why they did not do all that right away, to which she told me that they were not allowed to. The first rule of self-defense is apparently always leave if you can. and her cousins are at a level where the use of these techniques outside their school is strictly prohibited, unless there is an actual threat, of course, or if they've been given direct permission by an elder of the same school. A rule which my girlfriend was stretching a little bit, but she told me that she would write up the whole altercation so that the cousins could take her letter back with them. She was actually not kidding when she talked about points for self-restraint, because that would actually be her advice in the letter. But yes, typical hypocrite behavior. Let the children sort it out until it suddenly does not go your way, right? Thanks for reading. Edit. Thank you all for the warm feedback and comments. Yes, even you critics who shared some critical comments, because in my opinion, that is what Reddit is all about. The reason for my thank you vent is because this is the first time since the new awards that I received one for myself. I still need to look into expiration and such. Unimportant, I am very much moved by all the feedback, upvotes, and now even an award. Thank you all. You are awesome. Yes, even you critics. No, I am not joking. Without people telling me no TLDR, I would never have thought of that, and so it got added. Best comments. Comment. While violent stories rarely pop up here, this is a result where everyone learned and no one was seriously hurt. The boy was embarrassed, but learned that girls can defend themselves and that there are consequences for their behavior, which clearly the mother is not teaching. The cousins got to learn what standing up for justice is like, and that restraint in class is hard, but doing it in real life is exemplary. And finally, the young girl now has heroes to look up to, and I would not be surprised if she finds herself wearing martial artist robes soon either. This is not the normal stuff I read here, but it is heartwarming. Comment. Nothing better than when a bully learns that the world can hit harder than they can. The children did well. High fives for them. As for me, this story is very interesting and evokes a lot of emotions that are just waiting to burst out. If so, don't hold back and write what you think in the comments, and we'll move on to the next story.